You guys, it's the kid, Slightly later time, guys. But just to give you a little heads up, we will normally be doing these at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. will always be the prime time. But I just had a whole scheduling thing. So just for today, we were doing it at 10 p.m. But normally it will be 8 p.m. BST. So just to remind you guys, for the Football Dugout, it's every Monday, regular show. We have a regular topic. We have a different game that we're going to play on the Monday. We'll explain that on that Monday. And they obviously take questions afterwards. But Thursday is going to be a full-on Q&A. And the Thursday is we take questions primarily from Twitter, which we have a few. Then we'll take the viewers from YouTube. And also, remember, if you want to help to support our Patreon or support extra content for us, just support the show, click the Patreon link in the description box below. And if you want to follow King Devil with the silvery tinfoil hats and your boy Nix with his beard that he refuses to shave, just follow us on the Twitter thing below, man. So, how are you guys doing, man? How are you guys going to celebrate your Easter weekend and Good Friday, man?
I'm gonna break into Nick's house and eat some of his fried fish.
Oh.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, well, the fried fish was done already. And it's funny. It's a good thing that Flex from United Stand, he commented on the post, and it reminded me that I have to take the bammy out the freezer. I hope you know what bammy is.
No, what is bammy?
You know what cassava is?
Oh yeah, cassava. Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's cassava, but we make it into a kind of a round shape for some reason. But it's all good. Yeah. So I had to take that out of the freezer, soak that in some milk, and I'll fry that tomorrow morning. And we're good.
I'm jealous, man.
All right. Look, man, just save me a plate, man. Save me a plate, man. I'll send me an address. Just send me. I don't even know how you can send with all this stuff, but please, I beg, Mumbo, I beg, send me a plate. Okay, guys. So yeah, we took our questions and we actually had quite a few questions. One interesting one that somehow excludes me, but focuses only on Nix and Endeavor. But we'll get to that right now, which I found quite rude. But we'll get to that question in there. So let's try to do it. So first question that we have is from HT. Most overrated player. Most overrated player. Thank you for that. For the show. Most overrated player.
That's quite a wide-ranging question. Because do you mean like overrated as in now, or overrated in history, or? I
would for me. I think if he just says most overrated,
ever.
Let's give him two answers then. Most overrated player now and of all time. We'll give him two answers. So let me hit this first. For me, most overrated player. For me, most overrated player of all time is David Beckham. Always held that, and I was always.
You didn't watch the video I sent you.
I am not clicking any other trash. Also, speaking of David Beckham, the real Ronaldo, the GOAT himself, he did an Insta Live. So Ronaldo did an Insta Live with Luis Figo, Roberto Carlos, Ike Casillas, Infantino, and also did one with David Beckham. Bro, my GOAT, not your GOAT, my GOAT can speak English, can speak Spanish, can speak Portuguese, can speak Italian. That's why he's the GOAT. So, but if you can, because I think it expires after 24 hours, he had a really good conversation with David Beckham about their time in Spain and how he appreciated Beckham. Beckham was just talking about how he felt joining Real Madrid. So it's a really good conversation.
Remember that ball that he played for Ronaldo?
Yeah,
with a long cross from deep.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Beckham balled out at Madrid.
Beckham
balled out at Madrid, and he was playing centre mid.
Listen,
you know I mean,
never in his last season when he wasn't getting played, and he was like, "I need to get out of it because they don't want me." And he signed a contract at LA Galaxy, and somehow he got himself back in Capello's side, and they had to help them win the league. They were waiting for him to stay.
And he balled out at Madrid.
Okay,
you can't, gotta give him props.
As I was saying, most overrated player,
most overrated player of all time, man.
So most overrated player right now, I would say. Right now, Frankie De Jong. As I'll say, because I was trying to between Frankie De Jong and Felix from Atletico Madrid, but I would say Frankie De Jong is definitely the most overrated player right now. So yeah, King Devil.
It's a hard question, man. You might have to skip me, Right, most overrated player right now. It's a hard one. I'm trying to think of who's been rated very highly, who I just don't see it. See, people would say people like Ozil and stuff, but they're not really rated that highly anymore.
Yeah, they're
not rated that highly anymore. I don't think there's many. The one who springs to mind is Dele Alli, but I think he kind of falls into that as well. I don't think he's rated that highly anymore.
He used to be rated highly. He
was, but I think if you're looking now, I think maybe Dele Alli. John Stones, that's a good shout.
I was just about to say, I think
good shout.
I was just about to say John Stones, but because someone said it, I'll leave that. I think it's Jordan Pickford.
Right? Good shout.
Jordan
Good
Pickford.
shout.
Because he shouldn't be England number one. He shouldn't have been England number one even at the World Cup. Granted, he had a good World Cup. So, you have to give credit to him for performing. And I guess Southgate for picking him. But for me, he wasn't the best England keeper going to World Cup. Nick Pope was. And for his sake, it's probably disappointing that the Euros ain't going to happen this year, because I think by next year, Henderson or Pope could dislodge him from the England spot. When John Stones makes a mistake, I'm not surprised. But the commentators and the media, the pundits, seem surprised. Oh, Gareth Southgate's in the crowd. Like, what are you expecting? He just makes mistakes. That Divock Origi goal in the Merseyside derby last season, unforgivable. The guy threw the ball. The ball was going out, and he assisted Origi to score a 90th minute winner. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You think that he was a Liverpool fan trying to help Liverpool win their title. So I think, just off the top of my head, I think Jordan Pickford. Jay Spurs, he's right. Like every Chelsea,
Knicks. I was putting it there to laugh, not for you to.
Right, every Chelsea player is overrated by Chelsea fans. So Loftus-Cheek is just one. You name another one, Tammy Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you're lucky.
Leave the 7th president of the United States of America alone. Leave the 7th.
I think the less you say about this particular subject, the better. It's already got you in trouble once. So
I watched it. I watched the trial. It was. You're lucky. You're lucky. It has been extended. If you hope, you better hope that it's cancelled. That's what I'm saying. It's not waiting for you on D wing.
Moving on swiftly, man.
B wing.
From Jiram, thank you for your tweets, Srija. Your top 5 defenders in the world now. Okay, just give us some time. Top 5 defenders in the world now. Some time.
Van Dijk is in there. I'm not going to give in any particular order. I'm just going to say top 5. I think Van Dijk is in there. I would say let's have a look. Van Dijk is in there. Oof.
I would go just 3. Van Dijk, Koulibaly, Varane.
See, Koulibaly hasn't been great this season.
No. I'll say Varane has been shaky. Varane has been, for me, I would say people are sleeping on Upamecano. Upamecano definitely has to be in there. Has probably one of the best young centre backs out there. You have to put Van Dijk in there. Even if he's been injured, I will still say Giorgio. He was still quality before he got injured.
Chiellini.
Yeah, Giorgio. Put some respect on Giorgio's name. And see, now this is where it gets, because Ramos has been injured for quite some time now.
Ramos.
See, we're just thinking centre backs. He said defenders.
Oh, defenders. I was just
So I'm saying, for me, Van Dijk would be in there. Trent would be in there.
I'd put Robertson there.
Yeah.
Alphonso Davies. For sure, Alphonso Davies.
Would you put him there right now? Based on the season, maybe, but do you just base it on? An incomplete season. Is that enough?
Well, for who?
But it depends. If we're talking right now, how far back do we go? Because if we're going back a while, I'm going to put Kimmich in there. Like we've had this discussion. Kimmich hasn't played defense that much this season. But See, that's another tough question. And also, I just want to shout out my boy
Hakimi. Yes, someone put him in there for sure. Hakimi.
Yeah. See, so all right, I'm going to give my 5. So we're going to go Van Dijk, Trent. I will say Robertson as well. I would say, looking at, I'm going to put Kimmich in there, and my 5th one, just because he's my boy and he's from my ends, Spider Wan-Bissaka. We'll put Wan-Bissaka in there.
Okay, so you know, I think I've got my 5. So Van Dijk, Hakimi, Upamecano, Wan-Bissaka, Alphonso Davies.
Van Dijk, Koulibaly, Kimmich, Robertson, and I'm gonna go Ramos. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ramos. I'm gonna go Ramos. I don't care. I don't care if he gets a yellow card. You know, that's a guarantee. You know, that's like someone getting appearance. I'm gonna go Ramos because I think Ramos, and it's sad to say because it should never be. I think he's actually underrated, or he's so good, or has been so good that people are looking for every fault in him. It was, to be fair, it was similar to when Van Dijk was really coming and challenged and proving that he was like the best in the world. So any little fault he made, people were looking for. Ramos, if you think about it, he has been at the biggest side in world football for 15 years straight. Captain, most pressure, like just outside of even just footballing ability, because that Van Dijk for me is a better defender ability-wise than him. But to be at that level for that long, consistently, with that pressure as captain now and he's taking responsibilities at penalties. That means your team is always looking to you. I have to give him his respect, innit? I have to give him it.
No, I agree. I think he is a legendary defender. And I think because people see how many times he gets sent off and things like that, they kind of use it as a stick to beat him with. But when you look at his credentials and what he can do as a defender, he's definitely a legendary defender. Definitely a legend.
He's quality. And also you can't use the whole, he gets so many red cards against it, because that's just the kind of defender he is. He puts himself out there. And he may give you a red card, but he may give you a clutch moment like 2014 CL, or the kind of clutch plays that he has. All right, so from Richard the Lionheart. Okay, now this is weird. So you sort of big me up, then he then disrespect your boy. Big up H.
Not disrespecting you, bro.
But the question goes out to Devil, Nix, and Javan, who isn't here, Skyver. If you guys took control of the Brick Academy, what changes would you make to the rules and the categories? Okay.
So, Nix, I'll let you go first.
I don't know what the rules are at the moment.
Okay, let me explain the rules.
It's a shambles.
No, look, everything's quality. Basically, it's the brick to be inducted, you have to be crap and garbage. So if you're crap and garbage, you get inducted. Now,
that way.
Easy. So basically, if you're near to crap or garbage, but not even crap enough, you get put on the review. So this goes from the worst. So from really bad to the worst. From bad to the worst is Class C, Class B, Class A, scholarship. If you're horrible beyond belief, you actually get a wing built for you. And that's the beauty of the Brick Academy. And the Brick Academy does not discriminate. Anyone can get inducted.
Has anyone got a wing?
PSG has a wing. Marcos Alonso has a wing.
See? Yeah. You know what rules I'll change? I'll just demolish the whole building.
Why?
I just demolish the whole building and then just make my own building. And just so there's no remnants of this Brick Academy. I'll just make my own one.
So why are you against this lovely brick Walkman. Why?
It's outdated. It's outdated. Things have to change.
So if someone is crap, how will they be named and shamed, and how can they then improve it?
I think the only thing I'll change is I think, because if I'm correct, when you do your Brickador Awards, who votes in that? That's just you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that needs to go out to the public. I'm not saying the public makes the whole decision, but it has to be taken into account. Like
democracy.
The Ballon d'Or is not just decided by the head of FIFA or the head of UEFA. The fan, not the fan, sorry, the players, the captains, all their votes have a percentage. So I think the Brickador Awards, there needs to go out for nominations. Who should be nominated? Who should be the top 3? And from there, the expert, whether that's HH or his alter ego, whoever the alter ego is, can decide, who out of what the people have voted should be, top 3 and get the ultimate award. I think one man marching band is a bit suspect and leaves it open for manipulation, you might say.
You know how objective I am, and also yo Estras. Do you know who's channeling? What do you mean by Nick Spot on, man? What the? Shut up. Do you know how objective I am? No. Do you know how objective? Wait, how I am the best person to make these decisions because I'm the most level-headed person.
So if that's the case,
in 2019, because I watched it and I was like, it shouldn't be him. I feel like, was it Emery won it? Or was it Val? I can't remember.
A manager award and a player award.
Someone won it and I was like, no.
Was it Marcus Alonso or something like that? Was it Marcus Alonso?
Oh, it might have been Alonso. And I was just like, oh, it should be that person. So I just think it needs to be, a bit more democracy. That's the rules I would change. But, it's not my award.
That's all right. We'll help you. We'll help you in the running of the Brick Academy.
Like it helps me in that court case, yeah.
Well, I told you, send the check.
Bro, I sent the check.
You didn't get it. You didn't come. You have to send the next one.
No, I'm not sending it again. I'm already in doctor. What the heck? Hell?
I can get you out.
No.
Appeal.
No. The one is that I don't step foot in that academy, bro. Like crazy.
No, then stay there.
You think? So damn. Can anybody see what's the dude's name?
Srivatshan.
Srivatshan. Do you think De Ligt and De Jong have been successful for Juve and Barca, or do you think they have to? Or they have much more to offer? You see, I love this. Is a great question. Thank you for this question. Let me explain both of these things right now. Now, I already said that De Ligt is the most overrated player right now. I am going to come to De Ligt's defense slightly. defense slightly. I already felt that him going to Juventus was maybe a risky move based on how young he was and so forth, and based on the system. And for me, like, again, what he did for Ajax was great and everything, but people forget that he was on the pitch when you allowed a guy who is losing hair a lot more than me to score a hat-trick in 1.5. So, bro, what's happening there? And Juve's system is so drastically different from Ajax's system. People, I think, should give De Ligt a little bit more time because he's really been thrown into the true hellfire of a drastically different system that is much more defensive than Ajax. And he definitely has much more to offer, and he's definitely quality. I think either people just need to give him time, or maybe it's not really the right setup for him. Even if I think him and Sarri would actually work well because Sarri would like ball playing to defenders. Frankie De Jong, people keep swearing by me, he's the new Javi, he's the new amazing thing. This midfielder is the best thing in the world. And I'm like, bro, I'm watching these games for Barcelona and I don't see what this guy brings. I don't see what this dude brings. So I think they both have a lot to offer and so forth, but I want a lot more from Frankie De Jong to show me what he's on. The thing with Frankie De Jong is that I never rated him that highly to begin with. Yeah, quality player and everything, but the dudes who I thought were going to leave Ajax after that last season was Ziyech and De Ligt. I thought those were going to be the main guys to leave, not even Frankie De Jong. So for Frankie De Jong, I don't know how much more he can offer. But I think for De Ligt, being such a young defender, I think he has a far greater upside of what he can bring.
I mean, the real question is Frankie De Jong even better than Nigel De Jong? That's what we need to be asking.
Hey, Nigel De Jong was a decent player, man. If you needed someone getting kicked up.
He was, yeah. Chest high.
Yeah.
But De Ligt, yeah, I disagree slightly to say that I don't think it was the right move. I think it was the right move for him because, granted, Inter kind of, I won't say come out of nowhere, but they're making a push to challenge Juve at the top. Lazio, of course, they're making a push for Juve at the top. I think it would have been or should have been a good move for him because I think it's somewhat of a comfort zone. Juve, Syria, not too much expectation or should I say eyes on you because the league should be wrapped up. So the first, the previous 8 years proved. A Bayern Munich would have been similar to that, a PSG, where, it shouldn't be too difficult. Even if you make a few mistakes, it's not going to cost your team the league. As I said, it's been a bit slightly different this season with Juve. They haven't really bedded into the Sarri ball as maybe Sarri might have hoped. And so certain players are getting called out and highlighted. He's 20 years. How is he, 20? 21? No, I
think he's 20.
Yeah, so I think he's got plenty more to give. And what I would say is that I think if he had played or if he was playing under an Allegri or a Conte, I think it would see a bigger improvement in his defending than I think under a Sarri. Sarri's not that his setup is conservative, but it's not focused on like defense, man-to-man defending kind of thing, which I probably think someone who's come from a background where you're more passing the ball out, you're playing, and you're the team on the front foot, he probably needs to learn the other side of the game. Is he going to do that under Sarri? I'm not 100% sure. So I think for me at this age, it's really about management, coaching. Can he get the right coaches around him? But that's why, to be honest, I wanted it at Man United. But if we got him, it would have been him and an experienced defender because I knew there was no way he's going to come into Man United and he's going to fix our defense. He's 20 years old, never played outside of Holland, Netherlands in his life. You can't have that pressure on him to come and do that. And I think, but going to Juve, where there should be a lot more experience around him, I think it's a good place for him. I have high hope for him.
Yeah, the thing with De Ligt, I think it's a good place for him to go. And I think there is a lot more for him to offer, but he is 20, which is very, very young for a central defender. But I think if you were him, or you as the people around him, I think you go to Juve, you're going to learn from people like Chiellini, Bonucci. You're going to learn the art of defending. And Italy is somewhere where they take pride in defending. And apart from that, you're going to learn from perennial winners. They're all used to winning. And you have Cristiano Ronaldo there, for example, who's we all know how dedicated he is to the sport. So as a young player, seeing someone like Cristiano Ronaldo at his age, still putting in 100%, that's going to make you want to achieve what he's doing. So I think in that regard, it's a very good move for him. I think if he'd have went somewhere like a Barcelona, like De Jong did, where there's pressure, there's just non-stop pressure to be someone else. Because as you said it before, De Jong's gone there and he's guilty of not being Xavi. That's not his fault. That's not his fault. I think if De Jong went there 10 years down the line, it would be better because by then they would have started to forget about Xavi and Iniesta because so many players would have come in trying to beat them that by the time you get there, they're like, well, we know you're not going to be Xavi or Iniesta, just be yourself. It's too soon.
Be better.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of reminds me of the whole David Moyes thing at Man United, where Ferguson went in and Moyes, I was like, you can't win because you're never going to be Ferguson.
He should have always been given a summer.
You're never going to be Ferguson.
Be given a summer.
No, but I'm saying, no matter what, he couldn't be Ferguson. So he's always going to be, as good as he could be, but he's never going to be up here what we're used to. So I was thinking whoever goes in after Moyes is going to have an easier ride. That's what should have played out, but it didn't. Because, you can't be as bad as Moyes. Do you know what I mean? It's either you just continue to say, oh, well, it's Moyes' fault, or you do well and say, I did better than the last guy. But if you go in straight away after Ferguson, you're already in his shadow. And I think that's what's kind of happening with Barcelona. But these players are going in and they're being compared to people like Xavi, which is unfair because De Jong's not Xavi. But he is a young player. He will improve. It's just whether or not they give him the time to do so. And at Barcelona, they don't tend to give that much time because it's all about win now.
Yeah, so, look at how they're treating the Oos.
Well, this is
slightly different.
Succession planning is so important. You need to be bringing these players in whilst those players are still there, or come in there at the end, but not falling off the wagon completely. So then by the time they actually finish, that person is ready to step into the shadow. Thiago would have been that guy. He would have been the guy to just completely, ideally for them, Cesc is a bit younger. Thiago would have come through, and whoever else in the academy. Who's there? Is it Meunier they had?
He was a winger, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm saying there's different people that supposed to come through, and it's like you're supposed to take over. And I had the likes of Bojan and was it Christian Teo?
Yeah.
Oh, he was waste.
But it's like
he's a Spanish Walcott.
It just goes to show that the development, the conveyor belt wasn't working how it should have. You hope that it can be a seamless transition or seamless as possible. Gone, opposite directions completely in their player choices.
I'm just here. So from Amchukri, thank you for the super chats. Complicated Chelsea fans should do 2012 versus Barca. Maybe I might, which was a great leading on to one of the great CL final victories, which is what Chelsea did against Bayern. And they would have same at the Allianz.
I gave you a recommendation for a game to review, bro. Did you see it?
Oh no! Did you? Why was it?
Yeah, it's Liverpool 0, Arsenal 2, 1989 Anfield, the greatest ever title win in English football history. I want you to review that game.
Is that Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas closing in. It's up for grabs now.
Okay, I will.
Why was the defensive line so high?
Bro, they were panicked, bro. They were panicking the whole game. They were shook.
So from Jorge Eves, prime Lewandowski or prime Suarez? Personally, I'd say Suarez, who has been the best striker I've seen since Thierry Henry. How many people take Lewandowski because he scores against farmers in Bundesliga, but he does not deliver in big moments? Now, look, I know people will say this has been longer time ago, but can we just... He did do this. For 4 goals against Real Madrid in a CL semi. He did that. So you gotta say he did that. Whether it was 3,000 years ago or the day from when Richard the Lionheart was carrying that cross to sort of convert African people into Christianity, which is why they now can't control, even though white people process Christianity right now. That's a whole different discussion. But you would have to, at the end of the day, put it this way, the prime cannibal has delivered more at critical moments and so forth. So at the end of the day, you have to say prime cannibal, because an argument can say, oh my gosh, well, prime cannibal, he had Neymar, he had Messi, it was like the greatest front three that we've ever seen in boom. But then you can come back and say, well, who did he have at Liverpool? And he produced one of the greatest ever single seasons I've ever seen a player have in a domestic league. But people say, okay, what did Lewandowski have? But then you say, Lewandowski, you didn't have 3 years of that's Pep Guardiola where you were at your peak and everyone was at their peak and you were constantly reaching the semis, but you couldn't get over the line. What did you do? But I still say, based on pure ability, I feel that the closest thing I've seen to a striker being like R9 has been Lewandowski, the closest thing. But I just think overall, taking everything into account, you have to take the prime cannibal. But I still say prime Lewandowski is overall the better player and has more tools in his arsenal.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't know about
that. He does.
Oh, no.
He does. Don't hate.
Bring out the question again quickly. Just bring it up.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely Suarez. Definitely Suarez. I mean, if you said who is the better goal scorer, and I'm not saying that Lewandowski is only a goal scorer, But if you said that, then there's an argument for Lewandowski. But Suarez was that and more. And I'm not saying Lewandowski was a pure like he's a poacher. He wasn't, of course. But Suarez had the goals, so the finishing, whether it's one-on-one or from outside the box. He had the dribbling, the flair in terms of the skill, ability to even just get past a player, do a piece of magic. And I think I'm not going to say Lewandowski didn't score wonder goals, but I would be
5 goals in 10 minutes.
I would
have scored 5 goals in 10 minutes.
I mean, he probably hasn't, but if you ask Norwich about him, they might have a few nightmares. The guy was he was something else. The man used to pick up the ball and just nutmeg you and keep going at speed. Like you say, Lewandowski, the closest thing you see to R9, but that's something R9 used to do. He used to get the ball, put it through your legs, and he's gone. And that's what Suarez does in those tight spaces, even from out wide or through the middle. There was a chance of him scoring. If he had the ball in the final third, wherever in that final third, there was a chance of him scoring. I don't think it's the same as Lewandowski. Lewandowski, for me, in terms of threat on goal, it was within the width of the 18-yard box. If he picked up the ball out wide left or out wide right, you weren't expecting he's probably going to give it to someone and get into the box to receive a cross or a pass. Suarez could do. Dirk Kuyt scored a hat trick against Man United. I think they won 3-1. I think it was at Anfield. I could be right. All goals were scored with about a total distance of about 3 yards. These all tap-ins. And I don't know if it was all of the goals or at least one of the goals. Suarez did some amazing work down the left. I don't know how he must have dribbled past about 3 players and just passed it across the goal for counter tap in. You're not getting that from Lewandowski. That's no slight on him, but that's not that. He's not that kind of player. He's not that kind of player. So I have to give it to Suarez, man.
I got to give it to Suarez, and I agree with a lot of what Nick's was saying. I think the thing is with Suarez is a lot more dynamic. You know, Suarez is dangerous from anywhere in the attacking third, as Nick said. Whereas Lewandowski, if you put a ball in the box and you ask me which one I want, I'd say Lewandowski. If the ball drops in the 18-yard box, I'd say Dowski. But if you've got Suarez with his back to goal, 20 yards out, who am I going to take? Suarez. If you've got Suarez running at defenders, one-on-one, I'm going to take Suarez. If it's if you're doing a little 1-2 on the edge of the box, or you're looking for some movement to get in, I'm taking Suarez. I think overall, Suarez is probably a bigger threat from more areas. There's not much in it, because I know Suarez is quick and his reaction speeds in the box are ridiculous as well. But I think Lewandowski is more of a physical presence. So he's more of your out-and-out striker. But I think Suarez is a bit more dynamic. You know, if you need something to happen, Suarez can make something happen just like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like you think you're safe because, as you said, he's wide and, you know, you got players around you. Next thing you know, he shifted it 5 yards and curled it top corner or something stupid like that. Or he's seen the keeper off his line from 30 yards and he's chipped him. Suarez was doing that regularly, you know, in his prime. Overhead kicks, all sorts of stupidness like that. It didn't matter. He could score from anywhere. I've not seen Dowski have that kind of danger about him.
There's so many games that Suarez won pretty much single-handedly for Liverpool in that title, right? Like, you pick out a 5-goal swing for
Dowski.
For Dowski. Look at the majority of the goals that he scores. They are provided by someone. Someone's getting a cross in the box. Someone maybe slipping a ball into the area for him to run onto. Suarez creates so many of his own goals, let alone other people's goals. I think, maybe overall ability and even output, I'll give it to Suarez.
Oh, no. Output for sure, because that is where Lewandowski is. Even if he starts parts in the Bundesliga, his output in critical games is what has let him down. That has always been a key thing.
Did Suarez get top goal scorer after the 8 game the ban for racism? Did he get top goal scorer? I remember he came into the season about 8 games.
What season was that?
I think it was the season before he left.
No, it didn't come close.
The thing with Errol, I think, was a season before he left, I believe.
I don't know if he got it. We'll have to have a look at that.
He had a ban and he came back. It could have been after the World Cup, to be fair, when he beat Chiellini, but he was not.
Yeah, he says 15, 16.
He was crazy. He was sick. But anyway.
Okay. Sorry, that's just all right. From Andre Sapphire Anderson, what a wonderful, wonderful name. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time? What is the best thing what is the best wrestling match you've ever watched? And have you ever tried to do a wrestling move in a fight? Okay, well, let me try and answer this thing systematically. So the first thing is, what is your favorite? Who's okay? So let's just answer one by one, all three of us. So first one is favorite wrestler of all time. It was Hulk Hogan till I found out that he was a racist. And now 100% because I had to cancel him. Cancelled The Rock.
Just a man.
Like because literally, in school I did The Rock. I did the full-on rock bottom. So I used to fight guys, put guys below, take off whatever stuff. I took off like my pretend.
Sweatband.
I did the entire thing, and then obviously I got in trouble when the teacher came and obviously put me in detention. But like The Rock, and also for me, they have to also something about The Rock. Best ever on the mic, hands down, promo,
hands down.
The reason why SmackDown exists is because of The Rock.
That's his phrase.
He came up with the term SmackDown, which caught on, and they created the segment SmackDown because of The Rock. So
look when he came back when he came back to host WrestleMania, I think it was 2011, and that spiel that he did oh my goodness, that is epic.
No, for me, The Rock.
The Rock. Listen. The Rock, and he was funny as hell, bro. He was funny.
It was hilarious.
Do you know what I mean? He ruined certain people's career because he on the mic.
What's possible?
Billy Gunn. He ruined Billy Gunn.
No. But it's like I don't understand why. And my issue with like Dwayne Johnson is he's not yet done a film that has really taken that Rock persona into a film, which is just the most disappointing thing because I'm like, bro, okay, I don't care about Dwayne Johnson. We care about The Rock.
Isn't he the highest paid actor in Hollywood? Like 2-3 years running. So he's cool. I don't think he cares.
It's cool.
He's all right.
What was the second part of the question? The greatest fight.
The greatest match.
So no. So what are your greatest wrestlers? Both of you.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Rock, okay.
But I used to like Triple H, but The Rock more. Yeah.
The best wrestling match you've ever watched. WrestleMania 7. Ultimate Warrior against Macho Man Randy Savage, which was the I Quit match. So basically what happened was whoever lost the fight had to quit fully. And obviously, they never did it. So it was, first of all, this match had crazy things. You had, and this obviously showed my age and everything. So you had all this crazy kind of stuff happening. Macho Man did his finishing move like about 5, 6, 7 times. Also, came back. Guys were coming out of the ring and everything. But basically, I don't want to ruin this for you guys because you can find this on YouTube. When you just see how Ultimate Warrior pinned Macho Man, you will just realize just how crazy the match went in the whole thing. But yeah, for sure, in terms of epicness, what it's involved, the quality of the match, the dynamics of the match, for sure, it was Ultimate Warrior thingy, WrestleMania 7.
Nah. For me, it's Macho Man. Mankind versus Undertaker, King of the Ring, 98. With that Hell in a Cell, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I remember watching that, and I was watching at my friend's house, and his parents were asleep, and obviously we get the pay-per-views at, whatever stupid time in the morning, and we're watching that, trying not to make up noise. When Undertaker dashed my man off the cell, I screamed. I thought he was dead. I screamed. We got told off so bad, but. Yeah, that match stays in your head, man. That was the first time I thought, this brother is nuts. Like, Mankind is actually crazy. That match was crazy, yeah.
For me, I have to go Trish Stratus versus Tori Wilson. Explain why.
Trish Stratus was bad. She was, Yeah, boy.
It's late, isn't it? What can I say?
Yeah.
All right. So what's the other part of the question? Wait, sorry.
Have you ever tried a wrestling move in a fight?
Oh, okay. So I've never actually used it in a fight because, come on, like, let's be honest. No one ain't got time to lay someone down, or do the worm like Scotty T. Hottie. But I was play fighting with my cousin one time, younger cousin, and I put him into Walls of Jericho, and I didn't realize it was hurting him. Like, in the end, like, he started tapping in the end, and I let him go, and he was literally in tears, like,
oh wow.
I was like, oh my, I didn't think this was real.
Bro, you know, I used to have, but I was a madhead when I was a kid, and I love wrestling. So I literally used to walk around my secondary school with a steel chair, and I'd put it on the floor and DT random people just. But I remember doing a frog splash off. You know, in like the assembly hall, you got the bleachers. So that was all worked. I would go on the top of that, frog splash the brother on the mat on the floor, mash up my knee. We used to wrestle at my friend's house. We had ladder match. Man dashed me off the top of the ladder into next door garden. All them kind of things. Yeah, we used to go mad with the wrestling though.
Oh no. So basically, for me, it's like basically because I'm the youngest in my family, I was sort of just like the human toy and everything. So, and I distinctly remember this. So, like my older brother just used to just experiment with me and then everything because I was always hyped because I was so small. I was like, yeah, man, yeah. So I swear to you, he almost German suplexed me out the window. I remember when I was upside down and I was going to say, wait a minute, why am I looking out the window? And am I falling down? Because I was so brain dead that because I was like 6, 7 years old, but I want to say, wait a minute, I'm upside down and I can see outside, but oh wow, maybe I'm actually going to go out the window. And then suddenly he just then brought me back in the sea. Almost German suplex me out. But one thing I'll say though is that even if it's quite hard to do, I do wish I could find a way. Even now in my old age, I wish I could find a way to do a Stone Cold Stunner on someone.
I've seen someone do that.
That's my bucket list, to do a Stone Cold Stunner on someone.
My friend did that to some guy at school. It was down like 4 steps. So he just grabbed he went up behind and grabbed him, stunned him down 4 steps. So everyone was like, "Ah!"
I used to go to do the worm though.
Actually, no. In a play UFC, I think I might have done the figure 4 leg lock in a play fight. Yeah. I think I may have done the figure 4 leg lock in a amazing finish. Actually,
it hurts.
Best finishing moves. Okay, all right. That's it, man. Look, I love that, man. All right. Again from Andre Sapphire Anderson. Do you think an African team will win a World Cup in your lifetime? And should we just stop setting the standard so low that we congratulate them for just qualifying to a World Cup? Start setting high expectations.
Let me go first, because I made a post on this on Twitter not too long ago, and I was saying that basically I don't enjoy African football anymore, because I don't think they play the African way. They've brought in, for what maybe some may say better reasons or not, but they brought in a lot of European coaches and a European style of play. And again, it's not a slight on the players because you have to make a living. A lot of the players now play in Europe. And I feel like the way that a lot of the African teams play, sub-Saharan Africa, I mean, the North African teams have a certain way of playing and they stick to it, regardless of where their players are playing. And to be fair, the majority of the players actually still play in the North African region. You look at the Egypt team that won so many African Nations Cup, most of them were playing in Egypt at the time. But a lot of the sub-Saharan African teams, especially West African, they play in Europe, their managers are European. And yeah, they'll get into the qualifier, playing a methodical, counter-attacking or defensive game. They may get through the group, but there's no flair to it. There's no excitement to it. When South Africa played, and they got knocked out of the group stage, but they played with a certain freedom that I grew to associate with African teams in the 90s. I would say up until probably 2006 was probably the last when Ivory Coast qualified for the World Cup for the first time. Ghana,
Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana,
and they played. I think that was the year Cameroon. It could have been 2002 where they had the vest,
sleeveless. Yeah.
And was Cameroon 02.
Okay, but yeah, when Ivory Coast qualified for that World Cup and they had real exciting players on the wing and that kind of stuff. That was the last time I really enjoyed African football. And of course, 2010 World Cup, loved it. It was in Africa. Ghana should have got to the semis. But was I enthralled by Ghana's football that World Cup? No. But there were some good moments. The Asamoah Gyan goal against USA, great goal. Kevin Prince Boateng and Solly Montari, great moments in that World Cup. But I'm not excited about African football anymore. Will they win a World Cup in my lifetime? No, because I just think they're playing like European teams, and the European teams, man for man, are better.
Oh no, I mean, no. I know Nick's hit so many amazing points, and I think one of the points that he hit that were really good was the whole Ghana thing. Now, I got pissed off in that Ghana Uruguay game because obviously, like, look, Ghana are literally like our cousins. Like we share so much stuff. So I have so many Ghanaian friends. So obviously, I wanted Ghana to go through based on my connection to Ghana, but they weren't playing African football. And the thing though is that the beauty of the World Cup is this is how we culturally interpret football. This is how we culturally interpret football, and it is a clash of cultures. Now, I don't want to go too deep into here, but Nix was touching upon it. We can talk about how Africans look at Europeans and look at white people, and this is just from me, from a Nigerian person. Like Nigerians will literally give the European 3,000 chances, treat them better, do them so good. But for the Nigerian, they'll always make it a lot harder for them. Stephen Keshi has probably been our best coach, and they kept on trying to quit all the time because they treated him like complete trash. So the whole thing is, and I use this example, Nigeria have won the World Cup the most times at the under-17 level. Now, under-17 is purely about ability, and that's it. So the ability is there. But when you now go to the senior level, it's much more about the intangibles, the coaching, the match management, which you don't really do when you're so young and not really developed yet. So really, it's much more of a coaching thing and a refining thing. It's not about your style or your ability. But with the issue that you see now is like, there are times when, okay, Nigeria sort of going back, but for so long, I don't recognize these African teams because there's an African way of playing. But the key thing as well, which is why I say, after I agree with Nick, that I'll never see them in my lifetime, is France. So many Africans right now, because of a lack of organization, a lack of development, poor infrastructure, garbage infrastructure, which Africa needs to sort out. Like, look, I'm sorry, man. I want my best chance to be to do well at a World Cup. I'm not going to go to where hotel bills aren't paid, and we don't have proper training. We are late to those whole things. People are money or fees are not paid on time. So a lot of these Africans who have the ability, they're going to just say, well, let me live in France or Belgium for a while. Let me take their citizenship. So a lot of Africa's talent is going to go to a Belgium, a France, a Holland, and so forth. So how the heck can we keep producing the abilities and so forth to win it? So it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think the best chance that an African nation had was Ghana, or was that Ivory Coast team that had Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure,
or the Nigerian
Drogba. You had some really good teams, and for one reason or another, they didn't make that much of a splash at the World Cup stage. I agree with both of you. I think you both hit the nail on the head in terms of the identity of African football has been lost, and you see some of the European coaches that go and coach in Africa, and like, where have they been getting their because they're not doing well in European club football. They're just turning up in Africa and managing these massive countries.
Man, that thing annoys me so much.
Yeah. So I think Africa would need to maybe rethink the way that they approach the game. Like the African FA level, they have to restructure the whole thing. But the problem is corruption as well. Corruption in the African football, because every time an African nation goes to the World Cup, there's always some sort of problems surrounding that team. Yeah, there's always some sort of problem back home with the FA, or a disagreement between the players and the FA or something. Always something that follows them. Until that kind of plays itself out and everyone's on the same page, they're going to continue to have problems.
I tell you what, though, that 2002 Senegal team, I think that's the most excited I've ever been. I love Nigeria in '98. But destroyed by Denmark in that last 16 game.
Yeah, boy.
4-1.
But sand.
But for that 2002 Senegal team, I was like, if you couldn't fall in love with football after that, because to beat France in the first game of the tournament, the World Cup holders, and then it was all dramatic after that. Like, they had a 3-3 draw with Uruguay. that brilliant Salif Diao counter-attack goal against Denmark, golden goal by Henri Camara against Sweden, and then really they were robbed against Turkey. Like the referee, listen, the referee was paid in it. We won't talk about corruption. The referee was paid. I'm not saying Senegal.
There's bare corruption in that World Cup.
How to play a BS cricket game during the Turkey Senegal game. So I was listening to it on. I was forced to.
No Nigerian play cricket.
I was forced to. So I was in the middle of a cricket game because I told you, I said, I don't play cricket. I said, no. You must play. I said, wait a minute, I don't play cricket. And I think I got like a golden duck or something. It was like, I was trash. and also, what's it called? On the field, because we're just playing like singing games when we're busy fielding. So we're just cracking jokes out. Because I said, look, guys, we're garbage. Let's just have a laugh because we're going to lose. And we got trashed in that game. But the thing though is that two things. First of all, the Senegal-France game, remember, it was during physics, and we conned our teacher to watch the game. And when Senegal scored the goal, I remember I ran to the back of the room and did like a slide across. I was like, shh, like this, because I was so excited. But that's Nigeria 94 team. Look, what Baji did to us broke my heart. It was a dagger. If Sunday Olise had just put his foot out an inch earlier, we would be good. But also, 98. Quick story about 98. Do you know before the Denmark game? This is one of the saddest moments in my entire life was that Nigeria-Denmark game. Before that game, these guys did properly train. These guys were showing off. They're like, we don't need to, because they're like, oh no, it's Denmark and everything. So they're just like underestimating them and everything. I remember at 3-0, I went to my room and I just cried for the rest of the night. I just went to my room and I remember I was just crying. Tears were down in my eyes. It was one of the most horrible, saddest moments in my entire life. Horrible.
You should do a retrospective for that, bro.
Hell no.
Who was the Nigerian keeper in 98? Rufel or what's his name?
Rufai. Horrible keeper.
This guy didn't want to get his shirt dirty. That was it. 100%. The guy is the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen.
Look, Nix, we had a joke in Nigeria where if any shot towards this guy, his whole body would shake. And literally, this guy, he gave at least hundreds of thousands of Nigerians heart attacks. Every attack he would have, we would basically be praying to the Lord that, please God, don't shoot at goal. Please don't shoot at goal at this dude.
So that's why, when you get, and I know there's been a lot of talk about racism from Africans to, the whole Klopp and Mane thing. But when you hear that, there's no good black goalkeepers, I don't even argue. Like one every generation, Shaka Hislop there, Carlos Kameni here. That's it.
No. Vincent Enyama was very good.
Vincent Enyama was a good goalkeeper, man.
Messi even was like
very good goalkeeper.
He
was a great goalkeeper, yeah.
Okay. No, that's a good question, man. All right, so last two, man. Your boy Andre Sapphire, and this was another.
Yeah, he came with the questions, but
do you think football is dying? Because although there are talented young players now, but none of which are really transcendent, in the exception of an Mbappe, do you think it's just a dry spell, or what do you think is going to be like for the next 10 years?
That's a good question. I tend to think football is on a decline, but I think that's because of the attitude towards football from governing bodies and whatnot. I think there's a lot of money in it, and I think people are going into football to make money rather than because they love the game. I think back in the day, if you were good at football, you could become a footballer. Now you could be good at football, but not very, you might not necessarily be the best team player or train the best or know the right people, and you're being pushed out of it, or, you're being told, no, stop doing all of that, blah, 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 I want you to do this. And I think a lot of people are now playing the game, and they're not necessarily, you might not love the game, but they know it's a way of making money. So you've got a lot of players who, you could tell that they can play ball, but it's almost like You know what? You know who I think I use is Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard, very talented footballer, extremely talented footballer, very good at the game. But I don't think he has that passion for football. I don't think he has that drive to be the very best. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's many players who have that drive. When I look at someone like a Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, look at what Cristiano Ronaldo's done to his body over the years for him to be the best. I don't see many other footballers who have that drive. Do you know, I think that's what's missing from football. I think a lot of players are just happy to play and pick up their check, score a couple of goals. Do you know what I mean? And then they're good. Whereas I think back in the day, people wanted to be the best. They wanted to be the very best they could be. So I think maybe it's just a rough patch. Maybe it might turn around, but I don't see the same level of desire and talent, the marriage of the two in today's game.
You know what I'm hoping? I hope that the football market crashes, like the little wine there, Devil. Look at
yeah, done though.
Like the housing market did, because I think money has. I'm not gonna say ruined the game because I still enjoy it, but it's taken football down a very, very slippery slope. We spoke about De Ligt earlier. In the past, young players, there was no issue with them staying at certain clubs because the vast difference in money from one league to the next, one club to the next, wasn't there. So you would make all your decisions would generally be football related. That's why you got, a Pele, a Socrates, who were happy to play in Brazil for so long until the next best footballing decision came. Socrates moved to Spain. No, Spain, sorry, to Italy, to Fiorentina. But now the money is the what's the word? Is the determinant factor. People move for the money. You have agents who are just moving players left, right, and center to get contract after contract after contract. You got clubs who are hoarding players to make money to fund their first team. And I think the money aspect of football has taken it down a very, very slippery slope. You have someone like what's his name? Emmanuel Adebayo. So many times it was unbelievable. I don't know how he did it. You get the best agent. I think it was actually his brother, to be fair. But somehow you get an agent, you're trying it. Somehow just keep getting these moves after moves after moves. I'm like, but you ain't got the ability to keep. He was good at time when he wanted to be. But how you keep getting move after move after move after move? Because you sign a shorter term deal, you kick a bit of fuss, you get your move. You sign a short term deal, you kick a bit of fuss and get a move. The integrity in football, and I'm not saying it was all roses before, because it wasn't. When money is involved, people's integrity changes in all walks of life. And I think that's where football has gone. So I hope there's a bit of a crash, prices come down, wages come down, and people start making footballing decisions. And I think that's when we'll see the best from football.
No. For me, I think it's the key thing. Money is the main thing. Like, back in the day, how much did you really earn? Like, each week playing as a player? So really, the focus was football right now. But when you're earning so much, of course, the passion is there. But you do know that, look, come rain, come sunshine, whatsoever, I'm still going to get paid that amount of money. So I'm not playing in order to get that check. That check is coming in regardless. Hence why I love the international tournament so much, because it's not really about the money. It's really much more about you doing it for your country, club, whatever. Bro, Pierluigi Casiraghi earns thousands a week being injured for almost 2 years at Chelsea. It's one of the greatest finesses of all time.
So Winston Bogart, the best finesse of all time. Man literally said, "Why would I want to play football when you're paying me to do nothing?" He literally said that. He was on 40k, and you know how much 40k was back then?
Oh, huge!
I pay 40k now. I pay 40k.
He didn't even sit on the subs bench.
I take 20k now. 20k a week could do me very well right now. Yo, give me that. What keeper? What sideman? What's it called? Bagman? I'll do it.
I got issue with that Cashley Cole statement.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about that.
I saw Devil itching. Listen, I don't really like Ashley Cole as a person. After that whole John
Look, he said he almost crashed his car. How much they were going to offer him?
I would have crashed my car as well. That was disgusting.
He was within every right to do that.
I would have crashed my car as well. I ain't got a car, and I would have crashed it just for that. I would have bought a car and crashed it because they dare offer me that. And it's that same thing that was labelled at Raheem Sterling and has been following him since he decided not to sign that contract at Liverpool. One person, one media, or the media make a statement and label and scar someone with this label, and it just follows them. Ashley Cole, the best left back we've ever seen. If he wants to get a bit more money, he's in the damn right to earn some more money.
We done Ashley dirty with that. Do you know what I mean? As Arsenal fans, we done him wrong. At the time, I hated him. I was caught up in the whole he did all that crap. But we done him dirty. He had every right to want to leave if that's what we was offering him. Because you look at other players in the club who are getting bigger money than him, and what he was doing for our club, as you said, one of the best left backs in the world. He should be paid as the best left back in the world. And he went to Chelsea.
Money. It's about so you're comparing it. This is how much value me.
Exactly. And he went to Chelsea and he won everything there is to win. So he had every right to do what he did. And it's the same thing with Raheem Sterling. The only difference is Ashley Cole, he's personally off the pitch, led the media down that road because he was doing shit that he shouldn't be doing. Whereas Raheem Sterling hasn't done anything wrong, but he keeps getting slandered with all this stuff because of what the Liverpool manager and certain people in the club were saying about him at that time. That's the only difference between him and Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole was actually being that guy off the pitch. So, but that all started from us. We started that. Do you know what I mean? The Arsenal Football Club started that.
All right. So final question, man. Final question. And we're gonna from the big man again. From Sapphire, what is the most shocking miss you've ever seen in football, and what was your live reaction?
Carrius.
Hey, which one?
Carrius, the one where he just rolled the ball to Benzema. That's it. But I didn't actually see that live.
Because
I was at a festival.
Doesn't matter. The camera didn't even cut properly because it was showing a replay at the time. Everyone remembers it was showing a replay at the time. When it cut back to the live game, the ball had already hit Benzema's foot, so we didn't actually see what actually happened live. If everyone remembers that properly, Torres Man United, that must be the goal. Yeah, and it was a piece of skill to get past the hair in the first place when he rounded him.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think that's Carrios thing was because I even said it in the pub to the guys I was with. I was like, that is easily the greatest goalkeeping mistake of all time. It's insane. Roll the ball to a dude 2 inches from you. That's insane.
I've got 3, and they're all England keepers. So, Rob Green in the World Cup against.
Oh yeah.
We've got.
Is it Carson?
Against Croatia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson?
Yeah, it was
Robinson.
I think it was Carson because they didn't qualify for Euro 2008. And Robinson, I can't remember who that was against.
Croatia.
That's Croatia.
The ball bubbled over his foot.
Yeah, that's Croatia.
Yeah. Those like shocking moment.
Yeah. In terms of the one I've seen live, it would be Ospina. I can't remember who it was against in the Champions League. The cross, and he carried it over the line. He went to catch it and stumbled back, and he had the ball in his hands and literally put it in the goal. We've had some shocking goalkeepers. Yeah.
Oh, massive. Do you know what the funny thing is? Before we round up, man. I remember the Taibi thing. This is what guys always do. Say, look, I know what you're doing. Where he I think it went through his legs and he started to look at his boots. I was like, bro, don't look at your boots. Don't look at those thoughts are fine. They are beautifully fine and things working fine. It's not to the people. It's you. Okay. So, okay, guys, look, guys. Last 5 minutes or so, send in any questions before we get out of here. I can already see your boy yawning, man, because he wants to get into his fried fish. So last few minutes, man, just send in your questions. So basically, while guys are sending in their questions, any thoughts of when you think football might come back? June, July, August?
Scotland cancelled until at least June the 10th. So no football before June the 10th, regardless of what happens. Germany are back training.
But you know what? The Germans, they do things properly, bro. Do you know, because
handled it very well.
They do things properly. Have you seen how many cases they've got? That's a big old country. They got hardly anyone who's got it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they did their testing just widespread.
Testing
They had the testing to see if you've had it and you're now negative. They're testing that as well.
I was looking at, that's the thing. I was looking at some stats. This was yesterday, so it was before it went up over above 7,000. And UK had 6,000 deaths, 55,000 cases.
Yeah.
But they only reported 135 recoveries. And I was like, that makes sense. But you're saying that 49,000 people still have it and are either going to die or they're going to recover. So what that's telling me is that either you're not testing people to see if they've recovered from it, or you're not recording that they've recovered. It just shows that the UK are just not handling
They don't know what they're doing
very well at all.
No, because do you know why I like this? Because this is showing so many things to light. Because there's always been this kind of arrogance that England have always had of like, look, of course it's England. Everyone speaks English, the British Empire, and all that kind of stuff. But this has just shown to like, it's like, look at how Singapore have handled it. Look at how Germany have handled it. Because this is the case of like, when a crisis like this happens that nobody's prepared for, which country is able to take the specific measures and try and do the best? And Germany have just been amazing with it. And look, it just shows that Germany have always been very well organized. So this just shows you the quality of organization within a country and its infrastructure.
And leadership.
Look, Boris was asking guys, please, can you stay at home? Please, or no, look, I mean, please, if you want or not, can you please stay at home? So this is from Super Chat here from Silango. Is Jesus underrated?
No.
Guys,
I think he's rated as he should be. I don't think he's underrated or overrated.
Second choice striker at Man City. He needs to step out of Aguero's limelight and show what he's got.
But he's been trusted to be Aguero's, well, as far as we know. I think we'll see if Aguero leaves. If they go and buy Mbappe or something, then maybe they don't trust him that much.
Actually, is this something that we could maybe do for Monday, or would 11 be too much?
I could do that. All-time underrated 11 for your respective clubs. Yeah, I think we could do that. I could do that.
Yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to dig in. Actually, I know who I'd put in for the keeper, but for the defense.
Yeah. See, you know what? Goalkeeper might be hard for me, actually, because we've just had shit goalkeepers since the ever team. Actually, Lehman was good. Yeah.
Who's better, Makelele or Vieira?
Two different players, man.
Blanco sent that comment in about 15 times, so you know.
That's a hard one, you know. But you know what? One's got a position named after them, innit? So
I would if I
prefer Vieira personally.
I think I'm more all round.
I'm very biased about Vieira. Very biased. So I'm gonna say Vieira.
Okay, look, man, let's get out of here. But I think Mo is a United fan, so he says that it should be easy for you, Nix, for an underrated 11.
Martial, Rashford, Pogba.
Them man ain't underrated.
Pogba, Rashford, give me a break, bro. Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, guys, look, guys, thank you. Remember, guys, to support the show, show us your support by becoming a patron. Click in the link below to become a patron for our show. And if you want to follow Nix or Devil on Twitter, their links are below in the description box. All links are below in the description box below. So, guys, look, man, looking forward to Easter weekend, man. Looking forward to munch and eat and sleep.
The weather should be good, so my garden will see me.
Stay in your yards. Don't go outside.
Save lives, man, guys. Save lives. Okay, guys. Peace out, stay true, and stay black, man. Peace.